When you want only the best for your pet, check out AbbybellPetDesigns.com. We offer quality products such as floppy beds, crate pads, round pet beds, pillow slip covers, belly bands, and more. All products come in a variety of colors and sizes, guaranteed to satisfy your pet's particular style. Your pet deserves to be pampered, so shop at AbbybellPetDesigns.com. If you don't see the item you want listed in our shop, just drop us a line and we'll be glad to make the product of your pet's dreams. AbbybellPetDesigns.com. Good morning, everyone. How are you? How's everybody? Welcome. Mary Ann, good to see you. Joey. Alan, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Shannon? You gotta notice. Yay! Finally, finally. Ah, good morning. Hey, Lisa. Happy Brexit Day, yes. Hey, Susan, how are you? Hey, Melanie, good to see you. Wayne, Barbara, good morning. How are you today? I'm just great. Joey, hope you're doing well. Thank you for asking. It's election day in Pennsylvania. Hope everybody's getting out there to vote. Good morning. Hopefully, hey, Dawn, good to see you. Hopefully everybody got their notifications. Hey, Gregory, or Gregorio, I should say. All right, so as you're coming in, I'm going to quickly read to you. Let's see, where was I? This is Proverbs 19. Good morning. Okay, so please, if you would, retweet and share, invite people in. Okay, better is the poor who walks in his integrity than one who is perverse in his lips and is a fool. Also, it is not good for a soul to be without knowledge, and he sins who hastens with his feet. The foolishness of a man twists his way, and his heart frets against the Lord. Wealth makes many friends, but the poor is separated from his friend. A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who speaks lies will not escape. Many entreat the favor of the nobility, and every man is a friend to one who gives gifts. All the brothers of the poor hate him. How much more do his friends go far from him? He may pursue them with words, yet they abandon him. He who gets wisdom loves his own soul. He who keeps understanding will find good. A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who speaks lies shall perish. Hey, Jimmy. Hey, Brandon. How is everybody? Yes, Samim, how are you? Renee, how are you? Also wanted to remind you that My Ears Are Not Like Yours on sale now at Amazon.com. This is a book to give encouragement and hope to young children. And again, I think it's a book that you will like. Hey, Marlene. Hey, Robin. And it's at Amazon.com. Great for Easter baskets coming up, birthdays, or just because you want to tell a child that they're loved and give them encouragement and self-worth, something that all kids need today. Is that a book I wrote? Yes, it is. This is my book, and it was featured just recently. I was on an interview on the Todd Starnes radio show on Fox News Radio, and we talked about this book. So I hope you very much go out and get it. It seems like a lot of people really love it, and I'm thankful for that, and I want it get it into the hands of every kid alive if possible. That would be great, because I think it's so important for kids to really understand how much they're loved and to get a good, groundwork before they start into school. Hey, Jamie Tillerson out. Hello, America. I need to order Easter. I know, Jamie, you need to order. Easter's coming up. Hey, Carmen, good to see you. Good morning. So, lot going on today, huh? Tillerson is out. Pompeo is in. And it's being rumored that they were saying, well, maybe I'll check it out. I'll teach her. Oh, wow. Hey, RJ, it's about a third grade reading level. So 9-year-olds can read it. I made it specifically so they would be able to read it. So it's good for about a 3-year-old to 10-year-old. And a lot of people, adults, have said they wish they'd had that book when they were younger as well. So, hey, Amanda. So if you have any questions, just, RJ, you can write me at susan@susanknowles.com, and I'll respond to you. It's susan@susanknowles.com. Okay, so their rumors were that Tillerson got axed because he said that about Russia. He said, yes, that Russia's the one that poisoned that father and daughter. I figured it was a long time coming when Tillerson Dawn said yes. Basically, and Carmen's putting up the link to the Todd Starnes show interview if you want to hear that. Good morning to whoever replied to me. I was on the phone and didn't even reply fast enough. But they're saying that Tillerson was actually, we need to get rid of Betsy DeVos, seriously, that Tillerson was fired last Friday. Hey, Alexis. And so that he was fired before the comment was made, although Tillerson, I guess, never received a phone call, supposedly, from Donald Trump. He is, I don't think it's anything new. Yeah, he was fired. Gone. Out. Pompeo in, Tillerson's gone. Tillerson, if you recall, Tillerson agreed with the Iran deal. He didn't want to get rid of that. He also he didn't like the way that Donald Trump was handling North Korea. And so Donald Trump is saying, I needed to get rid of him because, we're going to go into, it was a strategic move. Yes, Alexis. They're going to go into talks with North Korea. And it's something that needs to be done. Tillerson to me was a globalist. Yes, Shannon, I agree with that. And I'm glad he's gone. Tillerson, let's see some other things. Here's the reason that I really like Pompeo. I was doing some research quickly on him. Here's the reason I like him. A Democrat in Oakland, Barbara Lee. She doesn't like Pompeo, and here are her reasons why. So for every reason that she gives that she doesn't like him, these are the reasons that I like him. He denies the reality of climate change, she said, and he opposes the Iran deal and supports regime change in North Korea. So for everything she just said, this is why I like him so much. Dawn says she loves Pompeo as well. Yes, absolutely. So a little background on Pompeo. He represented Kansas. Sounds like our guy. I know, Barbara. He's perfect. What's not to like? He represented Kansas for 6 years. He was a Tea Party member and a Republican. I mean, come on. What's not to like? For God's sakes. Anyway, I think that's great. He's been nominated, so we'll have to wait and see what we're going to get from the Democrats. Now, the other news is that the acting CIA director is Gina Sherry Haspel, Haspel. I guess that's how you say it. She is now going to be appointed to the CIA director position. Now, there's some things that you should know about her. How do you not like him? I know, Jamie, really. And Dawn said he's a very devout Christian also. So, yes, Haspel, Haspel. And he gets along very well with... Posobiec said back in October that Pompeo was being groomed to replace Rex. Glad it happened. Yep. They get along very well. Pompeo and Trump get along well together. Sometimes it takes a while to move somebody on the chessboard. Yep. Hey, Jerry. Don't know too much about her from the CIA. Okay, so here's some things about her. She ran a quote-unquote black site CIA prison located in Thailand in 2002. The site was codenamed Cat's Eye and held suspected al-Qaeda members. There were 2 of them, al-Nashiri and Abu Zubaydah. Okay, I guess that's how you pronounce it. Please tell me the woman taking over at the CIA, she is ex-military. I don't think she's ex-military, but she's got a good background. Listen to what she did. The Senate Intelligence Committee report on CIA torture specifies that during their detention at the site where she was in charge of, They were waterboarded and interrogated using no longer authorized methods. Declassified CIA cables specified that Zebeda was waterboarded 83 times in 1 month, was sleep deprived, kept in a large box, had his head slammed against a wall, and lost his left eye. He was deemed by the CIA interrogators to not be in possession of any useful intelligence. Yeah, sounds like a tough cookie. She later was the chief of staff to Jose Rodriguez, who headed the CIA's Counterterrorism Center. And in his memoir, Rodriguez wrote that Haspel had drafted a cable back in 2005 ordering the destruction of dozens of videotapes made at that black site in Thailand. So, in 2013, John Brennan, then the director of Central Intelligence, named her as acting deputy director of the National Clandestine Service, which carries out covert operations around the globe. She was denied the position permanently due to criticism about her involvement in Thailand. So, I guess also when she was, they wanted to appoint her as the acting CIA director, there were 3 Democrats who didn't like it. And they urged Congress, not to allow her appointment. And here's what they said. I'm especially concerned by reports that this individual was involved in the unauthorized destruction of CIA interrogation videotapes, which documented the CIA's use of torture against 2 CIA detainees. My colleagues have stated that classified information details why the newly appointed deputy director is unsuitable for the position, and have requested that this information be declassified. So, hey, Amber, she needed that job after 9/11. Yeah, I mean, basically, she was appointed as the assistant deputy director, so I don't see what they would say in not allowing her to be the CIA director. Also, she would be the first female CIA director, and if they don't allow that to take place, then in this Me Too society that we live in, that's going to be a little bit difficult to explain. Yet probably see that, yet prove it. Why did anyone say it in a book that makes it so? I know, Barbara. And, some people would say, so what? Maybe she needed to do that. I don't know. I just want to make sure that she doesn't use that on Americans. That's all I care about. I don't really care what she does and what she uses on anybody else, to be honest with you. I mean, that's just, if she needed to do that for our national security, then I guess that's what she felt she needed to do. How does everybody else feel about her? I don't even know who she is. Yeah, Robin, that's basically all I have. She's 62 years old is all I know other than what I gave you. Hey, Joseph. You used to have to prove your sins now because Joe says so. It's so. I know, Barbara. Exactly. Me too, waste of time, Jamie said. Yeah, I know that. I mean, basically, I think she ought to be an easy fill. Or Stormy Daniels says so, therefore it must be true. I don't know enough about her to say. Yeah, that's all I have, Lisa. I mean, she's been the acting CIA director, so she was allowed to be in that position. I don't know what they would come up with, because they knew all of this information I just gave you. So what other information can you come up with to say that she should not now be in the CIA director position? And as I said, Jamie said she gets my vote. And in this, the world that we're living in the Me Too world, I would say that it would be hard pressed for them not to allow her to have that position. So there you go. You guys are quiet today. Sounds like a tough cookie, and heard way back she was good and should be considered, Barbara said. Yeah, she does sound like a tough cookie. And I like the fact that President Trump is putting women in these key positions. DHS, CIA director, first time in history of that. I think that's a good move on his part. And I think that he's always done that in business. He really likes smart women, and he promotes them. So you guys are quiet today. I don't see your feed going. But he hates them, I know. Hey, Clay, how are you? Yeah, exactly. We're supposed to think that he hates women, and so we're seeing it's just not true. And so Trump wants women in charge. Exactly, Jamie. He does. Marlene's listening. You're being very quiet. I don't know if it's frozen when you guys are so quiet. Um, I love our president and how he supports women. Me too, Amanda. Yep, absolutely. I hate all these constant changes. Makes it seem disorganized. I know, Marianne. I really wish that we could have a little bit more, steady. Susan, I'm watching local news. Also, we have been getting package bombs here. Yes, the package bombs that are in Austin, Texas right now. The governor of Texas has a $15,000 reward out for anybody who spots that person or persons who are leaving those packages, and it seems to be that person is targeting minorities. I think the first one was a black man who died, and they thought maybe he was making those, and they didn't suspect anything. The second one yesterday, I think, was an African American boy that died. He was a teenager, and then the Hispanic, a Latina elderly woman yesterday as well. I don't know if she died. I know she was severely injured. And they said, if you get a package on your front porch or whatever that looks like that it's handwritten or something you weren't expecting, to immediately, get away from it and call the police. 75-year-old Hispanic woman still alive but critical. Okay, Susan. Ugh. Hey, Spencer. On the left always brands their opposition with ungraceful slurs. That's right, Spencer. Left probably didn't want her because she was so tough, and we're talking about Haspel. Yeah, probably not. Exactly. Yeah, I hope they catch that person in Austin. I mean, obviously there's a serial bomber that's going on there in Austin. I think Trump is just now hitting his stride, understanding being president, and loves it. I think that, when Trump brought these people on, remember, like Tillerson and all of these, Gary Cohns and everybody else, they were to kind of show us what the swamp looks like so the swamp could be drained. So they weren't intended to really be there and stay there for long periods of time. That was my understanding, that they were all going to be there about a year to 2 years, and then they were gone. So, now they need to get some serious people in, people who are going to stay, and let's start kind of settling things down. I think would be great. Block that person, everybody, with that horrible, horrible name of against children. Now, let's see. Some other breaking news today. A tour bus carrying 52 plunged down an Alabama ravine. Those people were high school students coming back from Texas, or going to Texas from Disney World. And there were about 45 on the bus. 20 have been taken to the hospital. One is dead. And they were high school band students. They say that 12 of the students have been seriously injured. Yeah, it happened earlier this morning, Barbara. Yes, Feminina. Seems to be so. They were from, I didn't say where from Texas. I just know they were from Texas. They had gone to Disney World and they were on their way back. So sad about the bus. Yes, absolutely. Very sad. And I don't know if the person who died, oh, they were from Houston. Okay. I don't know if the person who died was a student or a teacher. So, and that was all the information that had been given. Let's ban school buses. They are horrible. Yep, Barbara. My husband told me last night that Tillerson will be gone next. Well, Feminina, I guess he was right. That was funny because he was saying, oh, I've got to get back from Africa, but there's pressing business. One died so far, Carmen. About 20 are in the hospital. 12 are seriously injured, from what I've been reading. Yeah, but Tillerson needed to get back from Africa quickly, and I guess now we know why. No more boxes and tape either. Exactly. I tell you, pretty soon you're not going to be able to have anything or do anything. You're not going to be able to drive a car. Prayers for kids and all, Barbara said. Yes, maybe that's why they want to have mass transit, so that there won't be any more cars and anything else. I didn't see Shulkin being around for too much long. I don't see Shulkin being around for too much longer, Spencer said. Could very well be, Spencer. Hey, Barry. But it seems like a lot of people are so protecting Shulkin. And he's paying back the money. But, that didn't save other people. So I don't know. We shall see. One of the things that I am glad, somebody mentioned a while ago, RJ mentioned Betsy DeVos, who is the Secretary of Education. I do think it's just now coming out that they're realizing about the Obama policies and that they were being used at the Parkland school shooting. As you recall, I was like one of the first people ever to write about that. Yeah, put yourself in bubble wrap. There you go, Wayne. Just make sure that you don't hurt anybody else with the bubble wrap while you're doing it, okay? But I was one of the first people who wrote and said, that those policies in Parkland, if they were in place, maybe that's why they didn't kick that student out as soon as they did. Now, the New York Times is writing about it, and the New York Times, of course, is saying, oh, but there are no black kids doing anything. Well, excuse me, New York Times, but that policy was not geared just towards black kids. It was also geared towards other minorities, including Hispanics, which Nicholas Cruz is part of. So I think New York Times better go back and read the policy. They've forgotten what it was about. So anyway, right now Betsy DeVos is going to be looking at that policy at the direction of President Trump, and they're going to be deciding whether or not that policy should remain in effect in schools. My vote is get rid of it, because I think that a lot of kids are being left in school because of it. And if they need help outside of school, if they need mental health services, or they need to just be out of school because they're putting other children at risk, then the schools need to be able to get those kids out of school without being chastised by an Obama-era policy. Hillary could use some bubble wrap walking down the stairs. Cully, I saw the video. Hillary was in India blaming women and husbands for her loss. And she was going downstairs, and she slipped. A man caught her. And then as she tried to walk on again, she slipped again, and another man caught her. And this time she took her shoes off. She kind of like threw them off, and somebody ran and got them, and is blaming that for the reasons that she slipped. I guess the good news is there's no boot on her leg. And poor people, she is a despot. Too much vino? I don't know. I think it's just Hillary being Hillary. Spencer said the glad-handed directors of those national VSOs lied about their membership wanting him. Most veterans I speak to never wanted him in the VA secretary. VSO directors want to maintain the status quo. Yeah, I believe that too, Spencer. Her knees are broken. I don't know what her problem is, but she did slip pretty severely. It was almost as though she was looking at the stairs and couldn't quite see them or know exactly where to place her feet on the stairs. So I don't know. New York was a rough school district years ago, fixed it with security measures. Yeah. Well, they need to, they're still criticizing President Trump because he wants teachers to be armed. School funding incentives are not working. It was obvious to most. Maybe eyes are opening. I think at least it'll stay in place unless the president does something about it. Might be the problem. Cannot feel her feet. Wino, Carmen said. Yeah, I'm sending her bubble wrap now. There you go. Yeah, but like I said, President Trump is still being criticized for wanting to arm teachers, but of course he's saying experts, in the field. People act like, and when I say people, I mean the left acts like you can't be a teacher and be an expert marksman at the same time. Hey, Gary, good to see you. So I guess they don't value teachers very much. I was in the Marines, and I don't think teachers should be armed. And RJ, why do you think that is? Do you think it's because are you concerned that students may attack the teachers and take their weapons, or what are you thinking? Because I have I don't know, mixed feelings about that. I think if a teacher it goes out and gets the training and is equipped to do it, I don't see why a teacher shouldn't be allowed to do it unless the concern is the concern is that teachers be hit on by their students and taking their guns away. Susan, I disagree with arming teachers. They have enough on their plate. Well, hidden Jim, if they want to do it, I got no problem in it. I don't think teachers should be forced, and I don't think that's what President Trump wanted, that teachers be forced to do it. I think the teachers who wanted to do it, who were trained in guns, that is what he was talking about. If they want to and are properly trained, they should be allowed. I agree with that, Susan. I know been in high school and the kids will respect it and think it is cool. They will lock it up. Barbara said, competent, well-armed teacher. Good. Look how many have signed up. Yep. I'm all teachers being trained. Going too fast. Teachers in Texas already carry. Students can get a hold of the guns. Guns can get misplaced. Well, RJ, I think that's why if you're going to have a teacher with a gun, the gun needs to be on the teacher at all times. And other people are pointing out there are other teachers in schools that are armed and things don't happen to them. And they, some of them will not shoot a student, Wayne said. I had a few teachers that could not be in charge of a gun and some that definitely could have handled a gun. Jamie said, I am all in favor of teachers to carry in schools as long as properly trained, recertified every 2 years. Yep, me too. My son is in college and doesn't think the teachers should be armed, Teresa said. Many teachers I met, the hoodies would take a teacher gun quicker than spit in our inner city schools. There are many students in our inner cities who the hoodies would attack for their guns. I understand that, but honestly, you've known a kid since first grade and you're expected to shoot them. I don't know. I think some people would, if they felt that they were going to kill other students, maybe not themselves, but other students. Several school districts are putting signs out saying our schools are armed, which is good, Barbara. New York has decided they're not going to arm anybody at their school. All my teachers wanted to shoot me, Wayne said. Don't put it past the left to stage a false flag where a teacher shoots kids for their agenda, Shannon said. I prefer to have system checks at the door and guards. Yeah, let's put guards, armed guards at the doors. Let's put metal detectors. Let's put bulletproof glass. Let's put, heavy metal doors. I'm all for all of that, for sure. But New York doesn't even want anybody armed at the school. So New York is just going to leave their schools wide open. California probably, sad to say, will do probably the same thing. It's okay, Wayne. You're okay. But, I think you have to do something. Right now, our schools have a deputy sheriff in each school at all times. Stop. This is ridiculous. Let teachers educate. They are not police. But, Jim, nobody's saying they have to do it. They're saying if they want to do it and they're trained. Cali and New York, 2 places not to move to, Barbara said. Guns on campus is working fine in Texas, Amanda said. Yeah, nobody's saying that the teacher must do it. They're saying if a teacher wants to do it, is well trained, and President Trump used the word expert. So I think that even goes beyond just going out to the range and learning how to fire guns. So, if they want to do it and they're trained as proficient as what President Trump thinks they should be trained and other people, I've got no problems. Texans have more respect for guns, though. They do, Carmen. But maybe it's time that other people have more respect. Our schools here have metal detectors and have had them for years, which is great, Teresa. Well, New York has been thinking of removing racist metal detectors for years, Lisa said. Wow. Do you realize a lot of Texas women carry? A lot of them are teachers. Yep, that's right, Barbara. Pompeo is, okay, Jamie, thanks. Preach, I love your views. Well, thank you. Thanks, Beans. Beans and cornbread. It is a good combination. Volunteer arms training is okay. I would add self-defense, disarm intruder training too. If a trained cop hesitated, you think to send a teacher into AR-15 spray of bullets? Yeah, I do, Hidden Gems, because I think there are some teachers that were probably braver than that cop that stayed outside. Yeah, I do. Male and female, absolutely. And again, if you have the training. Pinto beans and cornbread. There you go. But again, I think it's going to depend on each school district is going to make that decision. Libs want metal detectors everywhere except schools. Liberalism is a disease. Yeah, isn't that funny, Shannon? where they want to have, metal detectors everywhere, protect everything else, but not protect the children. That's kind of weird, don't you think? Even back in the 70s with all the racial riots in our schools, I never would have dreamed that it would get to this point in our schools. It's sad, Dawn said. That's true, Dawn, because even during race riots, it wasn't like this. It's not fair to expect a teacher who would protect kids to give up their lives. But, Jim, nobody's telling a teacher they have to do it. That's totally up to the teacher. So when you say it's not fair, there's nothing that's unfair about it because it's totally going to be up to the teacher if they want to do it. So, nobody's forcing anybody to do anything. Although my son agrees with you, Susan, they should have at least retired veterans to guard entrances. I agree with that, Teresa. Hey, Monique, and having one guard, one armed person at the school isn't going to do it. You can shoot that person quickly, right? I know I feel very strong about this. I can tell him, Jim, but again, nobody's pushing it on teachers. What will the Democrats do with no more mass shootings in schools and with no DACA? Well, they won't have anything to come after the left on, the right on, especially during an election. I have a hard time keeping up with my classroom keys, RJ said. Most teachers I work with would give their lives for their kids. Exactly, Amanda. And they would. Clear bulletproof laminates are racist, Spencer said. Yeah, I think, as I've said all along, if you want to solve this problem, you can do it in a day. You just have, retired military, retired police, armed at the schools, and basically that right there will solve your problem. Go further, put metal detectors, bulletproof glass, and metal detectors. You're done. That's it. He sees a long time no see. Glad to see you. I couldn't see you live on YouTube, so came to Facebook. Aw. Sorry you couldn't see me live on YouTube. Everybody else is over there. If a teacher wants to hide under a desk, do it, but I want to shoot a kid killing others, go for it. Carmen said. Yeah, let's hope people aren't in that position. My grandma was a principal. She was loved. She was not an action woman. Yeah. And there are a lot of teachers who want to have nothing to do with guns, and that's absolutely okay. If you feel that strongly against guns, then they're not going to do it, and they're not going to be forced to do it. Nobody's even going to ask them to do it, and probably the preference is that they don't do it. Some carry knives, not guns. There's training to unbalance knockdown, disarm, security needs training. My husband teaches and is a concealed carrier, Robin said. Yeah, I think it would be great myself if all teachers in all schools learn self-defense. I think it would be great. Now, should they be forced to do it? No. I'd rather not be in the fish they're shooting in a barrel. Exactly, Marlene. That's true. We're at the halfway point. If you would please, everybody, if you would retweet this, that would be great. I don't know how we got here so fast. Yes, I don't want anyone to carry who doesn't want to. I don't think anyone would. No, Lisa, they're not going to unless they're willing to go through the training and everything else that goes along with it. And most people don't want to carry, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. Don't carry. I would rather you not carry if you don't want to. Susan, I'm out. Sorry, I just find this discussion upsetting. That's okay, Jim. Nobody wants to upset you, but we do want to have this discussion because it's important to have. Think knowing their argues will slow down shooters. Yeah, I think it's, I think, again, you can solve it. If you really want to solve it, you can do it today by arming, military and former police officers that want to go there and around the schools, and they'll take care of the problem. Those who want to be will do it. Others don't. That's okay. Exactly. But do they really want to solve the problem? Because, again, it can be readily and easily solved. So anyway, here's the good news. ICE is getting around the sanctuary city loopholes in San Francisco. And the sheriff, the head of the sheriff's department, Vicki Hennessy, is not very happy about it. Her deputies allowed ICE to come into the prisons, into the jails, and meet with inmates and talk to them. And now she's just aghast at what they did, taking their ball and going home. The good thing about it is not everyone has to do it for it to be effective. That's right, Susan. Exactly. They said that basically she apologized, said she was embarrassed, and she's taking steps never to allow it to happen again. Should be analysis done of each facility's weakness and provide enough security to cover too. Yes, Jerry. Dawn said, what do you think was the resource officer there? He was an armed guard, so to speak. And Dawn, that's another reason why you should have more than one person. You should have more than one police officer, more than one retired police officer or military. I don't want cops in our schools, arm up some veterans, and watch what happens the next time some left-wing spawn wants to shoot up a school, Spencer said. So, again, have more than one. Okay, so, now, so I don't like the fact that, once again, here's the sheriff's department in San Francisco saying that, oh, I'm so sorry that happened. I'm so sorry. I guess she's sorry to the inmates and the people of San Francisco that ICE was even allowed to speak to her prisoners. So she's never going to allow that to happen again. Now, let's see. More information. President Trump is visiting San Diego today. Woohoo! He is going to be going down. He was going to be landing at the at the military base, Miramar. It's a Marine Corps base. That's too bad. They're doing their job, and they should have at least 7 to 10 officers, maybe more. Exactly, Monique. So he's going to be going down and looking at the prototype of the wall. I don't know that he's necessarily going to be picking out which one he likes. I think you'll have a hand in picking it out and deciding which one he likes, which one he doesn't like. People on both sides of the aisle are going to be down there today. There are going to be people who are protesting against him being there, and people are going to be glad that he's there. School districts are going to have to budget security or pay later in lawsuits, injuries, and death, Jerry said. Build that wall, Marlene said. That sheriff needs to be behind her own bars. Yes, Amanda, I agree. Along with the Oakland mayor, I might add. But so I know President Trump is on his way to San Diego right now, which is great. I'm thrilled that he is. He will be going down to the border. Is there a press briefing today? I don't know, Jamie. I think there will be many different types used. Yeah, I mean, exactly, Lisa. The wall is going to be different in different places. You're going for the meet and greet season? Well, no, because where that's going to be is way down south at the border. If you can, block that person. And I wouldn't want to be down there. I know some of the groups that are probably going to go are the far left wing groups. It probably will be a little bit dangerous down there. I hope they show and explain each wall prototype. I think that would be great. And that may be why, I don't know if there's going to be a press briefing, but that would probably take up a press briefing, having that instead. I know Sarah Sanders has been doing a great job in the with the press. I mean, she's not taking anything off of anybody, and I just love it. She's doing such a great job. I hate to say this, but I hope she doesn't get promoted because I want her to stay in that position. She's so good. Praying for Trump's safety and a good outcome for his visit. I read that there are a lot of Californians who oppose the sanctuary state and who want the wall. Do you agree? Monique, we weren't even asked about, do you want California to be a sanctuary state? They just went ahead and did it. We had no control over it at all. So most Californians and most people, most Hispanics here, they want the wall. They really do, because they know that it will be a great thing. And they're. Did I miss the Tillerson firing discussion? Yes, you did at the very beginning. That's a total shame. Yes, and it's a total sham too, Monique. But that's what happens. That's what happens when the left gets a hold of something and the Democrats run the state. They do whatever they want. And, people say, well, just vote them out. It's not that easy. You think with the changes from last night, you would think there would be one today. I know, Jamie, and maybe there will be. And if it is, it'll be around 11:30, 12 o'clock Pacific time, so later in the day. I don't know how fast Air Force One travels, too. I would think that the president would be landing here about that same time. The larger the wall, the better the jobs outlook. I know, Spencer. It's so great. Is Jerry Brown be there today? Aha! That is funny. No, I'm sure Jerry won't be there because he doesn't like the president and he doesn't like Jeff Sessions. It makes him look bad. Did you guys get tossed out I see people coming back in. Did you get tossed out when you maybe blocked that guy? I don't know. Hopefully POTUS is more successful walking down steps today than Hillary was yesterday. Imagine he will be, Shannon. Just a little bit more successful. You live in San Diego, Susan. It's beautiful there. It is, Hidden Gem. It really is a beautiful place. I was blocking and reporting that account. Oh, thank you, Lisa. Yeah, I can't believe that people are allowed to use names like that against children, vile names, on Periscope and Twitter. I don't understand how they're allowed to do that. I really don't. Talk about, abuse of children is that name, and I can't imagine what that person is like, if it is indeed a person. New gun laws went into effect in Florida yesterday. Jamie said Air Force One is probably able to do over 700 miles per hour. Wow, so he should be here around, I'd say, 3 hours or something like that? I know, how is there not an algorithm to catch that? I know. Who's in Las Vegas, Wayne? I've spoken to several Hispanics who gained legal U.S. citizenship and completely support having a wall. Absolutely, Monique. Ignore them. They don't comment. It's just upsetting to acknowledge. Well, Jim, but what happens is they bring their followers in here, and then we've had them in here, and it's been pretty sick. How do I block perverts in here? I have some following me. I'm not used to Periscope. You have to go and block them. LA Times lauding the POTUS protests. I wrote I never protested Obama and all the traffic jams he caused. Yeah, but they don't care about that. Yeah, I think, well, in LA Times is so left-wing. Yeah, it's okay, Hidden Jim. A wall is simply pragmatic but symbolic too. Yeah, but it is explained block to the Barbara said. Well, you just have to go to your Periscope and just go to your settings, and there's a block button there. You can block the people. They don't catch it because Twitter is too busy messing with conservatives. That's true, Alan. They've got more important things to do. They won't run her full out over a routine transport operation. Yeah, okay. So he should be here before 11:30. You're welcome, Robin. I wasn't much help in telling you how to do it, but... okay, let's see. Today also, just so you know, anybody who wants to see God's views on political news, that will be on at 1 o'clock Eastern. All you have to do is go to Facebook Live, or go over to Facebook to God's Views on Political News page, and we'll go live at 1 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to see that with my co-host Bill Cloud, and that'll be today. And if you don't get to watch it live, it will be on my website later, and the website is susanknowles.com. There was a student booted from Christianity class in Pennsylvania, University of Pennsylvania. There was a class taught by a feminist in regards to, let's see, she was showing a film, I guess it was, on ex-pastor transgender Paula Stone Williams, discussing the reality of mansplaining, sexism from men, and male privilege. Nothing discriminatory against men at all there. The professor asked the women to share their thoughts, and when the women didn't share any thoughts, thank you, Amanda, blessings to you too, have a great day. Then this man spoke up, this male student. Was he from Moon, Pennsylvania? I don't know. He was in the University of Pennsylvania. But when he spoke up, the professor told him to get out of the class, never come back. Is that a niche subject? I have no idea. She barred him on the grounds of classroom disruption policy. So by telling the truth, by speaking up and saying there were only two genders that were recognized in biology, in the Bible, he was tossed out of class. Can't go back. Done. So I guess if a female had spoken up and said that, I wonder what would have happened. Well, there goes Facebook. Wow, Facebook didn't like me talking about the transgenders and everything else. I just saw Trump on his way to California. Yes. Yeah, I saw him leave this morning. He left about 6:30 our time. He's better off, I know. But hopefully he doesn't need that to graduate. I wouldn't think that he does, but It's ridiculous that you get kicked out of a class for talking about your opinion. So, I don't know. Maybe they should kick her out of the class. What do you think? Facebook Live, when I started talking about transgenders, it went down. So, I apologize to those people on Facebook. A Christian school, it's the University of Pennsylvania. I would think that's a public school. He's going to have to fight that discipline decision. Yes. What I don't get that. Well, he had an opinion that was not the same as the teacher's, and he said there were only two genders, and the teacher doesn't agree. I would have spoken up and been kicked out too, but don't think I would have taken it either, me either, Jerry, unless it was required. That's not an opinion, that is a fact. Yes, it's true too, Alan. But he told her that in biology, they only recognized two genders, and I guess in the Bible, it only recognized two, and she didn't like that. So, crazy courses, waste of money. Yes, I agree with that. It gives the left a platform, doesn't it, though, Jerry? My grandson wore a pro-life shirt to school and asked, please don't wear it anymore because it caused a disruption in the class over the debating of it, Dawn said. Wow. And maybe the parents, Dawn, maybe your children should stop paying for him to go to that school. Just saying. Maybe you can find another school where he can be allowed to wear a pro-life shirt without panic. That would have been a great discussion, but she didn't entertain him. Nope. She told him, get out. Get out. You're mansplaining. We don't want you in here. You're a man. Probably didn't want him in there in the first place because he's a man. Get him out. The acting director, Homan, is really upset. Let Nancy Pelosi, Feinstein, and Jerry Brown have it for attacking ICE as hunting down immigrants, basically. He said that they're only going after those that are criminals and those that were scheduled for being deported. And that Feinstein is kind of going after him for something that she supports herself. So, that's something you would expect from her. So, and he is, they're taking their time about having him in his position. No discourse, no exchange of ideas, tyranny, socialism, communism. Illegals, Robin said. I'm going to go ahead and do this Facebook. Let me get this off before it starts talking. Come back soon, Jesus is getting chest deep. Yeah, I think you're right. You're right, Marlene, but I think it's even farther than that. Maybe it's chin deep. ICE does wonderful work, Jamie said. Yes, they do. Heard they said to give party support that they must denounce ICE. Wow. Public school senior. There. Wow. So I guess he's in for the long haul, Dawn, it sounds like. And of course you heard yesterday that the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence said, oh, Camilla did not, and they warned her. Huh. That woman. Oh. The House Intel basically said they found no collusion between Russia and President Trump. Duh. And they basically, of course, are being chastised by the left because, nobody believes it. Everybody thinks that's they shouldn't have stopped investigating. Just to reinforce the fact that, what a waste of money. Yeah, reinforcing that Mueller, just keep going, because just keep, we need you. You're doing a great job, and you'll find it. Just keep digging. So ridiculous. I think we need another accounting on Mueller, and we need it soon, because months ago it was like 8 million. Poor Whittle Schiff is upset. Yeah, because they didn't talk to them. I'm conflicted with ICE, felons, etc. Boot them out, but families I care about. Well, I care about families too, but I also think that the parents made the bad decisions. It's not ICE. If your parents brought you here illegally and they're here illegally, whose fault is that? They're in the country illegally because their parents brought them here. Or their parents, did whatever. FYI, statute of limitations ran out to charge Clapper with lying during Congress testimony. Oh, that's great. That's great, Jerry. Great timing. Yeah, I don't like seeing, but the kids know no different. Well, their parents made a bad decision. Unfortunately, like, see, if that were to happen in America and parents make bad decisions and their kids don't know any better, CPS comes in and takes the children away. Well, my grandpa told me I would something about China. I missed that. Yep, 5 years passed. Wow. Well, that's great. I'm sure Clapper's breathing a little easier. Um, a top leader in Iowa Senate Majority Leader Bill Dix resigned yesterday after a website published video and photos allegedly showing the married lawmaker kissing a state house lobbyist. Now, there's a shocker, right? Hillary time running out, too, on certain things. Great. Dig a hole to China. Okay. Wayne said. So we lost another, state, in Iowa at least. These people can't, quit having an affair. I don't get that. They gave him additional $8 million. Who are you talking about, Dawn? Oh, you're talking about Mueller? They gave him another $8 million? Jeez. Look, they knew they were illegal growing up, and they knew as adults to get legal. They did not. That's true, Barbara. Oh, for God's sake, kick those men out. Kissed his job away. That's a good way to put it, Cully. Yeah, he sure did, didn't he? NCAA. I know Cully always comes up with the best ones. Oh. Okay, now this one's a little sick news, but I'm going to tell you it because you should know what's going on in the news. An elementary school teacher in Indiana allegedly turned private baseball lessons into masturbation sessions for a group of young boys. That's what authorities are saying. A fourth grade teacher at Amelia Earhart Elementary School in Lafayette was collared Friday on a slew of charges that included vicarious sexual gratification with a child under 14 years of age after investigators learned that he had been coaching students through the sexual acts during private baseball lessons. Now, again, parents, don't allow your children to go anywhere with anybody by themselves. Where is the attorney? What in the world is wrong with people? Alan, it's called End Times. Yeah, I got that, Dawn, after I read that. I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, home of liberal Purdue left-wing bastion. Joycelyn Elder's follower. That's right, Susan. Thank goodness they caught him, a sicko. Speaking of sick, Trump supported. You love Trump. Thank you for coming in a load of cash and letting us know that. Which needs to, yeah. He needs his, okay, Carmen. But, again, why, I think too many times parents trust the coaches and say, oh, they're going to be fine. Susan, allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Chuck Veritas. Good to see you. I like calling you Veritas, though, Chuck, but I'll call you Chuck. I'll have to write it down. What was his reasoning? Did he have to have one? I mean, crazy, maybe? Sick? She was Clinton's Surgeon General who advocated teaching children masturbation in the first grade, Spencer said. Oh. Yes, that's right. Jocelyn Elders, you're right. That's a left wing person for you there. Oh. No, Veritas is fine. It's just been a while. I like Veritas. It just sounds so good. Chuck is my dad's and brother's names, Marlene said. You have some Steve Kane followers in here. Is that good or is that bad? They aren't allowed Hatch Amendment. Oh dear, that's just sickness. Yeah, it is sickness. And again, parents, quit trusting the coaches and everybody else to take care of your children. It's not working out. And especially as we get more into the evil end times, well, guess the coach wanted to prove they would not go blind. Barbara. Barbara. Reach down and help them. Is that, oh my gosh. Parents do not have to tolerate it. Cannot trust anyone anymore. Well, but Alexis, I'm saying, hey, Chicago Pops, I'm saying don't trust people with your children. I don't trust anyone to take care or teach children except us. I know. I mean, especially if you have young children that age going to a private baseball lesson, I expect you to be there, parents, with your children. I would be at all of my kids' events if I had been blessed with a child, Carmen said. Yeah, you go there and you watch what's happening. And if the baseball coach says, no, we don't allow parents there, then, well, they don't allow your child there either, right? Laughing because my grand asked me one time when he was about 13 if that was true, Barbara said. Oh, God. Oh, Barbara. Yeah, I mean, I don't... Dawn said that makes my blood boil. Me and my teacher would have a come to Jesus talk. Spencer said telling teachers to reach. That's terrible. I feel like a bunny rabbit hopping around. You froze on Facebook, and now I was able to find you on YouTube. I know, Monique. Monique, Facebook closed me down when I was talking about the transgenders and the boy in the Indiana, Pennsylvania University who was talking about gender only being 2. I used to pop in to school days to help teachers and see what was going on with kids. And Jerry, that's the thing. If a teacher tells you you can't come in the classroom and observe whenever you want to, or maybe even at times that they've set, then there's a problem. There's a problem. I would be saying, I'm coming, and I'm going to come and see what my kids are doing, if they were going to public schools. Hillary was the one who put Jocelyn on Bill's short list. She put Janet Reno on it, too. Ugh. God said at the end days, women would be thankful to not be mothers or pregnant. Carmen said, clear it with the principal first. Yes, Jerry, of course. Steve Kane's sidekick always says the number is, most love the extra hands. Yes, Jerry. And again, if a teacher won't allow you in their classroom, then you should be concerned. Something's up. And I don't care if the teacher says, well, I don't like being, it makes me nervous. Well, tough luck. The principals come in and they come in and observe the teachers and they critique them. So if you can stand for the principal to be there, then you can stand for the parents to be there. Teresa, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while. So that would be just a lame excuse. Took an additional 3 months leave, then opted to stay home. Totally worth it. Yes, Lisa. Absolutely. You probably heard yesterday that President Trump issued an order to block Singapore-based Broadcom's takeover of U.S. chipmaker Qualcomm on grounds of national security. You messed up that post. That's okay, RJ. And there's it was a $117 billion deal. Hello, I'm great. Hope had internet trouble. Aw, hope you're well. Doing great. Glad you're back. Oh, I'm just seeing a breaking news report on Fox that is basically talking about Gina Haspel saying the same thing I just told you, that they would be all upset about, in the fact that she had run that site in Thailand. So it's coming out. They didn't waste too much time. I think that's interesting. Parents let kids go too freely to people they don't know, don't understand that. My kids were always with me just for reasons like this. Absolutely. That's how kids get abused and molested at times, Dawn, as you know, when we're allowed to go with anybody and everybody. So I just want to remind you, God's views on political news in an hour at 1 o'clock p.m. on Facebook. You just go over to God's Views on Political News. It will be live at 1 on that page. Also reminding you, if you haven't gotten your copy yet, My Ears Are Not Like Yours, available on Amazon. Give an encouraging and positive word to all kids. Easter's coming up. Easter basket present would be great. Birthdays are just because. Thank you, everybody. I will not be here tomorrow. I'm taking my Wednesday off. You'll set your alarm. Okay, Marlene, sounds good. Thanks, Susan. Another great scope. Everyone, have a great day. See you tomorrow. Actually, Chicago Pops, I will see you on Thursday. Unless something breaking news comes up. I know, too funny, huh, Monique? All right, thank you, everybody. We'll see you on Thursday. God bless you. Take care. Whoops. See you then. YouTube, see you on Thursday. God bless.